Today is Thursday, September 11th, 2014. Today is a day that I'll never forget. 13 years ago, on September 11th, 2001, I had a life-changing experience because September 11th, 2001 was the day of the attacks on the World Trade Center in Manhattan. I can't believe it's been 13 years since that devastating day. And I just wanted to share with you my experience of that day 13 years ago. I was 11 years old at the time. I had just been coming home from school around 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My dad came to pick me up and my best friend Andrew, and we had just heard on the way home on the radio that there was an attack in Manhattan on the World Trade Center. At first, we were all devastated and shocked. It was such terrifying news to hear. As soon as I got home, the family had been looking at the news on CNN. I was living in New York at the time. But to come home to this terrifying news was heartbreaking. I'll never forget it. And to think that 13 years later, I still remember it all. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget. We must never forget September 11th, 2001. It was a terrible day for me, but for my best friend Andrew, it was devastating. He was very upset that this had happened because he comes from Manhattan, and I was scared for him. So my dad and I had the suggestion of him staying with us for a few days. Or a matter of fact, just the night, so he could be safe with us. So after that, I was able to get him back to Manhattan so he could be safe with his family. And what's shocking to me is that in 2012, in December 2012, I went to visit him in Manhattan while I was visiting my dad. And he told me something then that he didn't tell me all those years ago. He told me that I saved his life that day. So it was that act of kindness out of my heart that really saved him. And I'm just grateful to have been a good friend And to hear those words from him was, I was touched. So, on a lighter note, today also marks 19 years of the friendship between Andrew and I. You see, 19 years ago today, we met at school. We met at school for the first time, and that's when he and I became the best of friends. I mean, I was only 5 years old, and he was 4. And so to think 19 years later, I still remember that day. Can't believe it's been 19 years to the day Andrew and I first met, and 13 years to the September 11th attacks. I just can't believe it. So I'm I'm happy to still be alive after that devastating day, but I send my condolences and my respect and my love to all of those who lost their loved ones on September 11th, because it's what really counts for you at this time. Love is the best feeling that anyone can give to anybody. When you care about something or someone, you help make their days better. So for me, 13 years ago, my act of love and kindness was emotionally saving my best friend Andrew, because he was very shocked about the attacks in Manhattan. And that memory still stands with me 13 years later. And the day that we first met at school, that memory also stays with me as well. So, I just wanted to speak about my 9/11 experience, because I recognize it may be hard for some people, but I just wanted to put it out there. And I just want to say that this is a day we must never forget. We will never forget. September 11th, 2001. Always remember, never forget.